I first fell in love with art, I would say, as a child. I genuinely believe that we are all artists. I think along the way, sometimes we lose sight of what our medium is. But I love all the arts. So I have memories of me singing in choir at church when I was a child. I did choral ensemble in junior high. I was on the dance team, production. So all of the arts are really important to me. And I feel like they kind of define who I am just as an artist and as a creative person. The first shade of crayon that inspired me to depict black or brown skin was literally black and brown. I grew up in the 80s, and so there wasn't a lot of just acknowledgement of diversity as it relates to depicting different people from different cultures. So there was very limited amount of colors, which is, in contrast to the availability of different things now. Now you can go into the store and find a box of crayons with like multiple shades of brown and tans and things that kind of represent a broader range of people. Themes that I am most passionate about exhibiting in my work are most recently motherhood. And that is really a reflection of my transition, or I like to call it my ascension, into motherhood, which is such a important and dynamic role. I found, I'm a mother of two boys. Just earlier in my career, I purposely avoided talking about that aspect of myself just out of fear of, not being taken seriously as an artist, or, people may not want to represent me if they know I have children, or even, in my job at the time, when I was pregnant with my first son, I was finishing up my first year of teaching at the Maryland Institute College of Art, which is where I currently work. And I was just kind of afraid that they, wouldn't hire me back or think that I wasn't going to be able to do my work. But eventually I got to a point to where I just was like, I have to be honest and authentic about every part of myself. And as artists, we do pour ourselves into our work. And I feel like, my identity as a mother was something that I didn't have to hide. Like, it is what it is. And that's, one of the aspects of my work that makes it so special and so relatable. When people see a lot of the mother and child pieces that I do, it takes them to their own relationship with their mother or their parents or, whatever that situation may be. So motherhood is definitely a big theme in my work. I also am always talking about beauty. I used to want to be a fashion model earlier when I was younger, and I'm really interested in like makeup and hair. Beauty is always a theme in my work, and I think on a deeper level, it's just really appreciating our beauty, which is often criticized but then emulated at the same time. So I really find it important to highlight all the different versions or all the different ways that we can perceive beauty. And for me, that relates to our skin color, our hair texture, and then just our overall body image. I tend to talk about my sense of spirituality in my work. I'm from Arkansas, so that's part of the Bible Belt. So that sense of like spirituality and that sense of just my religious upbringing is something that's really important to me. All of my work, I feel, is an homage to Black women, not only like just Black women, but the people we're also in relationship with. So that means our brothers, husbands, wives, everybody that we're connected to. But I try to show us in the multifaceted way that we exist. So, with Black women, we tend to get pigeonholed into just being one thing, but there's a multiplicity of things that we embody. And I try to show that in my work in a way that is reverential. It's beautiful. So I really think it's important to acknowledge the fact that we do need to rest. We do need to replenish ourselves. I used to say like I rest so that I can show up for other people or so that I can be a better mom. But I feel like I should just rest because I just deserve to be able to rest, outside of the benefit that it gives other people. And a lot of times it's hard for us to acknowledge that we need support because somewhere along the line, we've been kind of taught this idea that we have to be able to do it all ourselves, that we should be efficient, that we should be able to just do everything for everybody all the time. I am learning how to ask for the things that I need. I kind of put myself in that bag and kind of seeing it as a badge of honor, so to speak. And because I pride myself on my independence. I pride myself on being able to do these great things. But I feel like if you feel like you can do everything yourself, then your vision is probably too small. So I'm kind of challenging myself to learn what it means to build a team, to vocalize to my husband, who is my biggest supporter. He also is my studio manager. So learning to utilize him more. And even like I have a admin assistant that I use for certain projects. So just realizing like I could be working on a spreadsheet and after that I'm like, you could have told somebody else to do this. So it's really me finding ways to buy back my time so that I can be more fully present for the things that only I can do. I handle the intersection of nurturing others and nurturing my own creative spirit by really just operating authentically and really gravitating toward the things that I feel like I naturally do well. And for me, it's also about just longevity. Like, I want to be able to make the work that I make for a long time and just really being vigilant about it. I honor Black women by placing them in the canon, literally like through my work. I like to honor the everyday heroes, the women who are doing the unseen work of like holding the households together, doing the work of, building community. And, women in particular, I feel like we do a lot of their work and sometimes it goes unnoticed, or sometimes we do it so effortlessly that people don't always think about everything that goes into it. And so I really choose to honor those women, and I feel like they are a reflection of me and I'm a reflection of them. A lot of my work is autobiographical, so I'm using myself to kind of talk about some of these particular themes that I'm exploring. I describe my work as universal and specific. So it's specific in that I am a lot of times talking about myself, talking about people in my community, but it's universal in the fact that there's a lot of things that like everybody can relate to, even outside of being Black women. When people stand in front of my work, I want them to feel seen. I want them to feel appreciated. I want them to see a reflection of themselves. I want them to feel pride and like a sense of wonder as well. Hi, I'm LaToya Hobbs, and this is Hello Beautiful.